I used to have this issue when I was younger where I would find myself being overwhelmed by things that had happened in the past that were concerning, traumatic maybe, just things that caused me to feel upset and anxious a lot. And I found that the more I tried to not think about it, the worse it would get. The more I worried about it, the worse it would get. It was like there was no way through that. Until one day, I decided that the thing to do was to record what had happened in a way that would be safe in terms of nobody else would see it. But I would do it in a way where I told my mind that it was recorded so I didn't have to keep thinking about it anymore. What I've discovered since then is that our brains have real difficulty with letting go of things when we don't have it recorded, especially when it's something where we feel like someone's done us wrong, or whether they have or not. If we feel like they have, our brain doesn't want to let it go. And it's a bit like, have you ever been shopping and you haven't taken a list? You know you've got 10, 20 items that you have to buy. So you have to buy these items and you go to the shops and you walk around stressed out because you don't know if you're going to remember everything, and you often end up buying a whole lot more stuff, and you get home and you realize you've forgotten a couple of things and you have to go back again, and that's just so annoying. Or if you know you've got a certain amount of things you've got to buy, if you write a list and you've got everything you need to buy on that list, then you go shopping. You might buy a couple more things because you realize, oh, actually I do need that thing, or you want to try something new. But it's a pleasant experience. The reason the first one is unpleasant is because your brain's spending the whole time trying to go over everything and remember what it is that you're supposed to remember. A similar thing happens with traumatic experiences, or experiences that challenged us in some way that we keep going over and going over. It's often a matter of our brain wanting us to remember that this thing happened, and wanting us to remember so that we don't let it happen again. If somebody's treated us badly and we forget about it, then they're more likely to do it again. Our brains want to know what patterns we're looking for in behaviour. So if we haven't got a record of it, our brain goes, I need to remember that, I need to remember that, I need to remember that. And you end up going over and over and over the issue again and again and again. So what I do is I write down the things that I have written them down. I don't need to do it anymore because I've done that. But if something new comes up, then I do write it down. I write down what happened. And I do it in a way that nobody else can find it. Half the time, I've forgotten where I've put it, but I can go back and find it if I really need to. And I do it with the idea, and I tell my brain, I'm writing this down so it is safe, so you don't have to keep remembering it. You don't have to keep going over it. You don't have to keep reliving it so that I won't forget it. It is recorded. I can go back and I can look at it, and I have a safe place to remember it. And this helps my brain go, okay, I don't actually have to keep going over it, going over it, going over it. Now, there are a couple of things to be aware of. One, you want to make sure that wherever you are recording it is safe. You know, other people aren't going to be able to find it. Somebody who's not safe for you won't be able to find it. You do need to do that. You can record it in lots of different ways. You can write, you could make a voice recording talking about it, you could make a video. There's a whole lot of things that you can do these days to record it. When I first started doing this, writing was the easiest option. You can do it in a book, you can do it in a computer, doesn't really matter. Just record it. The other thing to do is to make sure that you have a safe place to do it. Now, a safe place to do it means somewhere that you feel comfortable, somewhere you can get comfort if you need it. If there's somebody safe you can ask to be ready in case you need to have some chill out time or some hugs or something like that afterwards, then make sure you have something set up, and also give yourself time. So sometimes we think, oh, if I tell this story, it'll only take this much time, that'll be all right. But in actual fact, you need to give yourself time to really delve into it. know that it might take a little while to recover from doing it. But having said that, it will mean that you do not have to keep revisiting it when you're not expecting to. The most you might get is if there's a repeat kind of something that's similar, you'll get a little warning from your brain. This one doesn't feel right. Other than that, your brain will be able to go, okay, I'll let that go. It's a bit like talk therapy. Talk therapy is great. It can be really, really wonderful. However, if you're somebody who's gone from therapist to therapist to therapist to therapist, and you're always talking to the therapist about the same stuff, all you're doing is rewiring your brain to continue going over that. This is a way to stop that rewiring. You record it once, and then every time it comes up into your brain, you can say, I've got that recorded, brain. You don't have to keep telling me. And eventually your brain will stop telling you.